everyone, welcome to AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter. I'm Madalyn Skylar, the host of this always fun weekly discussion. Last week we talked about ChatGPT's new Images 2.0. I got even more for y'all this week. I am so excited. It does so many incredible things. I can't wait to have us discuss it. Plus, we're always here hanging out, talking about AI tips, tricks, and advice that will help you work smarter, not harder when it comes to both your business and your everyday life. If you're new here, welcome. I help creators and entrepreneurs get more done in less time with their AI to also help boost your productivity without feeling so overloaded. If you need help with your digital marketing or AI, come get in touch with me after the show. I do provide guidance and support, helping people just cut through the noise. There's just so much to learn with all of this stuff. I can help you get shortcuts from point A to point B a lot faster. This live stream that we do each week is brought to you by my AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter Skool community. So we come here each week to do this as a 1 hour live stream, but the conversations continue over in Skool. So we have so much information there over at skool.com, Skool, skool.com. We're at AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter. So yeah, come hang out with us there. Let's bring up our panelists that are with us today. Hello, ladies. How are y'all doing? Good to see you.
Great. Really good. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, ChatGPT Images 2.0. I'm just every day. I know I showed y'all a lot last week. I'm still amazed every time I'm in there, and I'm just wowed by how awesome it is. Have y'all spent any time playing with it yet and just getting a feel for it?
I did. I put a few things in there, things that I had created that I didn't really love. So I figured, let's just put in a prettier background. And then I have this ugly brown carpet in the house that I rent. And so I had a really cute picture of Pip on the floor next to me, which is where he is right now in the sun.
Aww.
And I changed the carpet to a more graphic black and white print, and it looked amazing. Like you would never guess that was not my carpet.
That is so cool. You know what I like about this now is so much smarter.
Yeah.
And my understanding with the new ChatGPT Images 2.0, this new 2.0 version, is that it incorporates more thinking. So it really understands you. And it does so much more for me now. I can't get over it. And I can't wait to show you all these demos of things I've been working on with that. What about you, Barb?
I did. In fact, on my Facebook, you can see I did the infographic, and it did not spell everything correctly. I was
not
very
100%
surprised.
perfect, but
it was a thing about how it views you, to do an infographic of that. And that surprised me because it was right on, and it actually surprised me and scared me. I was like, oh, I better not tell you that much because I don't want to see it in the infographic.
Oh, that's funny. Well, we can only cover so much in this hour chat, but I always recommend everybody go check us out on Skool. Let me show you real quick for those that are not familiar with our Skool community, and be sure to join us over at Skool. I got the link right there. Oh, Maria's here with us today. Hey, Maria, thank you for joining us. I was just showing everybody that our conversations continue on over at our Skool community. You can go to skool.com and search for AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter, or use my shortcut link here, a bit.ly link, bit.ly/Madalyn Skool. But there are some really good videos that just came out this week on the ChatGPT Images 2.0. We're not going to have time. I'll show a little bit of it, but we just don't have a lot of time today because there's so many things I want to show you. But we have it. I have it here in Skool, where this one video here is just phenomenal, walking through these great ideas of using the new images, ChatGPT Images 2.0, for YouTube thumbnails. And I don't know about you all, but that's one of the things I love with AI is making my YouTube thumbnails. and ChatGPT used to suck at it, so I would use Nano Banana, which was a lot better. But then ChatGPT had gotten better last year, so I was back to using that. But it just didn't understand everything. The thinking part wasn't quite there, but it was doable. Although the one thing that constantly drove me nuts with ChatGPT before this new 2.0 version, when it came to YouTube thumbnails, it would not do it in the right size of a YouTube thumbnail. Didn't matter. I tried every way I could to tell it the size, the pixel size, the ratio, specifically YouTube thumbnail. Didn't matter how many different ways I tried to tell it would not do it. It would do like it was a little bit wider than a square, but not quite that rectangular 16:9. So but I was still getting what I wanted out of the image. Just wasn't wide enough. So I had this, and I've shown this workflow here before on this live stream. I would basically take that, go into Canva, and Canva, if you're on a paid account, has these like magic AI features. And there's like this one where you can like stretch and it'll add more space around to fill in using AI. And it wasn't perfect, but if you messed with it long enough, you usually could get it to work. At least I could always get it to work. But it was like all this extra work. And I'm like, why can't ChatGPT get the image right? I don't understand. So this new version, it can now do it. And we talked about it a little bit last week with how it can do all these dimensions now. It is unlimited. So I'm still just so wowed that whenever I do the YouTube thumbnail, I'm like, it's so nice it gets the whole size right. And I'm like, I can put it right into YouTube and it's not a hassle anymore. But it is just so cool, the capabilities and just how much better this has gotten. So I hope that y'all continue to play with it. I definitely recommend, going back to Skool real quick, I definitely recommend watching this video. Let me just play a little bit of it, because this guy has like really interesting workflows for using ChatGPT for creating YouTube thumbnails, and he just demos all these different ideas. Let me just play a little bit of this.
And you can either use it as is or ask for ChatGPT. Just solved one of the biggest problems for new YouTubers in a single update, and it makes every AI thumbnail tool that came before it completely obsolete. So they just released version 2.0 of their image generator, and that lets you create multiple finished thumbnails in under a minute with as much or as little direction as you want to give it. A year ago, you would have had to hire a designer for thumbnails like these. Even just a week ago, you could get pretty close with AI, but there was always a little bit of cleanup you'd have to do afterwards, which if you're not a designer, you wouldn't really know how to do anyway. So before we get into how to use it, let's talk for a bit about why this is better than earlier.
I'm going to stop it here, but this video is so good. It's 14 minutes long. I definitely recommend checking that out. And then there was another video I had added in here. Let me play a little bit.
Make of me, and this is what it makes now. It even made the thumbnail of this video, just one tool in under 15 minutes. I gave ChatGPT Image 2.0 a website, and it created 8 social media ready posts, an Instagram ad off of the product page that I gave it, a 10-slide Instagram carousel off of a conference that I was going to, and like I said earlier, the thumbnail that you clicked on. Now, while everybody's using the templates to make comics and video game screenshots, that's cool and all, but it doesn't move the business. I tested it on brands that are actually active, and I'm going to give you all the prompts so you could do the same today.
All right, I'm going to stop it there. But these videos I have in here are great. So be sure to join us over in the Skool community. Let me put the link back up there again. Come join us at Skool. Either go to skool.com and look up AI shortcuts to work smarter, or use my direct link bit.ly/Madalyn Skool, and come hang out with us over there, because there's so much more information there. But I just want to show y'all, I've been spending so much time playing with the ChatGPT images and doing all kinds of demos. Actually, before we jump into that, I want to show a really cool article that Rachel put out on her Substack that I just love, and I want everybody to see it, because I don't know how long, Rachel, you're able to stay today, but this popped up in my feed yesterday, and I just love this. 10 writing lessons I learned from my cat and why they work. And Pip usually makes an appearance on here. Is he nearby? Is he going to come join us on screen?
Yes, he's currently cleaning himself, so I'll let him finish and then I'll bring him over.
Okay. But I love the things you post on Substack.
Thank you.
And I just love this article. So before we like dive in headfirst into ChatGPT Images 2.0, I just want to I love this because you just gave like really great lessons from your cat, but that just applies. Like I went through this and and the photos were awesome too. But I just wanted to give you a shout out. I love this photo right here.
I do too.
That one is
the
so
toe
good.
beans are so cute. You just want to squish them.
Yeah, my dog sleeps like that all the time. She'll be
So
on her back
cute.
with her paws in the air, conked out.
So cute.
So yeah, but I just definitely recommend everybody check out this article. I'll link it
Thank you.
in my YouTube description after the show. So people or just all people have to do is go to Substack. Let me grab your Substack link. Check you out on Substack, and
Thank you.
this is so good. Rachel is at Bad Redhead Media over on Substack. So go check it out. The photos alone are just priceless.
Oh, thank you. That one at the top, I just lucked into. I had the sun coming behind me towards him, and the back is actually my kitchen, but you can't see it because of the way that the sun was. I mean, I probably took 100 photos that day.
But you know what? You could say it did show that in the background. You could put that into ChatGPT images and say, hey, can you just make it a black background? Remove the background. What I would do with this new ChatGPT Images 2.0, and you can use the free account, or if you have a paid account, also we're going to look at Magi, because Magi goes even further. So if you're using this inside of Magi, you have the ability to do a low, medium, and high version. And
wow.
Dustin has shown some tests of him doing that. And he did one the other day, and he's like, I put in one prompt, and then I did the low, the medium, and the high of ChatGPT Images 2.0. And they're all a bit different. And he's like, tell me which ones you like, and you'll be surprised which ones were not the highest. It's not necessarily resolution. It's just like it's going to use more of the tokens. So it's more thinking time. It's going to spend more time thinking. So, but more thinking time does not always mean better. And I guessed out of the different ones he showed, the first one was actually Kaz. I'll show it in a bit. I like the first one. I'm thinking, I think this first one's the low. But I liked it overall better. But I can't wait to hear the actual results of it. But I don't know, looking at pictures of your cat, it's like, I bet you could do some really cool things with it inside of the.
I know. It hadn't even occurred to me, like that particular photo doesn't even have a filter on it. It was literally just the photo that I snapped. So I'm sure I could improve on it and do all kinds of cool other things with it. I just, I don't have the time. I know the toe beans are so cute. Thank you, Kratom Butterfly.
What are toe beans?
Toe beans are the little things on his paws.
Oh, okay.
And they're very squishy because they have little pads on them. So people call them toe beans.
Okay, gotcha. I'm not up on this, so I
know cat lingo.
I've not heard that terminology, so I was like, what are y'all talking about? Okay.
Dogs have them too, but they have sharper claws. The cats have really sharp claws, but there's less space and they're very poofy and smushy.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Now you know.
Learn something new every day.
I'll go get the boy while you talk.
Which is super cool. Yeah. So, okay, I want to show y'all some different demos I've done. Maria, I'm so glad you're able to join us. It's been so great seeing you back, hanging out with us.
Yes. And I can't even tell you how much I'm enjoying Skool, by the way.
I am so glad you signed up and that you have your own Skool community now, and that you've joined. You're in our AI shortcuts and my new video like a rock star.
And you were like too.
And my Kratom one, yes.
Oh, yes.
I've got three different Skool communities, so I love Skool.
That's what I love because it depends what mood I'm in, what I'm looking for, and then everything's right there. I love it. Yeah.
That is awesome. Your audio is a little low, just FYI. I'm not sure why. So usually in StreamYard, it's usually all.
I don't know what's happening.
Okay. It's all, well, I think you're doing your cool voice.
Maria has the best voice.
You do. I love it. Okay, I want to show y'all something. I got all these different things I've been demoing with the ChatGPT Images 2.0. I'm just so in love with it. So I was working on something. Was it yesterday or the day before? It was this week. My image to promote this show each week is so incredibly generic. It is boring. It is blah. I don't like it. And it was time for me to give it a major overhaul. And a lot of it is just time. I mean, I just haven't had time, and who wants to mess with it? But now that it's like with this new Images 2.0, we can do so much. I'm thinking, well, I'd be crazy not to, be going back to some of my generic images and poofing them up, making them better. So I want to show you, I'm going to bring up on the screen actually what I've been using, which is so blah, so boring. I hate it. And it was time for a refresh. So every week, when I set up this live stream using StreamYard, this is the generic, very boring, very blah. And I'm like, I can't stand looking at this anymore. And I'm like, wait a minute, why don't we have ChatGPT Images 2.0 help me do this better? And I bet it could do it very quickly. I'm sure I could just very quickly get something incredibly better. So I'm gonna show you all what I've been working on, because I'm so incredibly excited about how well this works. I'm going to show you so that's the before. I'm going to show you the new after, and I'm going to go through the demo, the whole in between that I just did. So it went from that, which was ugly, to me conversing with ChatGPT to create this, which I think is way better. It's not like perfect, but this is more up to date. This is more of what I'm looking for at the moment. So I'm going to show you this back and forth demo I did this week and how I got here. So let me show you over in my ChatGPT. And I started off with giving it some photos for reference. And that's really helpful because I want to be in it. And that I didn't want it to, use my micro headphones, but I'm giving it some reference photos, and that I just want a generic AI shortcuts to work smarter thumbnail that I can use when I go schedule it. So just on the first pass, just not even really trying, but on this first pass, it came up with this. I'm like, holy cow, it's too many small words. It's a little much. I don't want my shirt to have all that. I want my shirt to just be plain. But I was like, wow, minimal effort, and it kind of created something nice. But also for a YouTube thumbnail, you don't want too many words. You don't want small words for sure. You want to make this so that it's big, bold letters, words, minimal, and let the title do the rest. So I told it that. I said, you did way too many words. It's too generic, blah, blah, blah. I said, let's just call it AI shortcuts at work. Now, I don't know what happened, but it did this. I'm like, epic fail. How did I just go from it creating an image to me trying to refine it, and it did this? So I don't know. I thought, did it short out on me? Is there a bug? What?
I don't. Madalyn, I think that's part of it, because it did that kind of thing to me as well. But it was like, I get it, you don't, and like getting a break, like it had personality to me when it did that.
Get it, puppy.
It in the before this new version with the 2.0, this would sometimes happen to me, because I think what would happen is I would overload it. It wasn't in a thinking mode like it is now. And it would glitch out from time to time and give me some random photo or image that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So I thought, okay, this is very glitchy. So then I realized, what I should have done? I should have hit the edit button, because when you hit the edit, so if it gives you an image, you hit the edit button, then down here it says describe edits. So it knows you want to edit this. So I didn't do that. I just kept the conversation going, and then it did that. So then I thought, okay, let me hit edit. So when you hit edit, you can see it puts it right up here, and then you put in what you want to say. So I just copy and pasted what I had said before with the dog thing. And then it came up with this, which was like, okay, this is, we're going in the right direction. It's still kind of boring. The text doesn't really pop, and I think we can do better. So I thought it was a little crowded. So I asked it to, like I said, before the 2.0, when I would be doing this, it could only do this conversation for so long, and then it won't go anymore. And it was a problem. But with this, I kept going. We just kept having this conversation. So I told it, why don't you shift me over a bit, soften the lines on my face. It likes to take the lines on my face and really make them more detailed. I don't like that. So I'm like telling it to kind of dial that back a little bit. Also, it had removed this live icon. It had taken it out, and it's like, no, I like to have a little live because it just lets people know this is live, but this was too big or the text here was too small. We needed to keep going. And again, I'm hitting the edit button so we can continue. But yeah, it made the lines on my face way more pronounced. I think it makes me look way older. So I told this soften the lines. I said, you're making me look too old. I like just conversing with it like a person. I don't know about you all, but that's what I do. And I said, the text needs to pop a bit more. Keep this font, make it stand out, add the live icon at the top right, not too big where it overpowers the text. So, okay, this is better. I feel like I'm slowly getting there, but I made sure every time I hit edit and describe my edits to the image we're looking at instead of going off left field like with that dog thing. So then I said, this is great, but you got the tattoos wrong, because when I looked at this, I don't know what this did on my arms, but this right here looks funky. It's like, okay, it looked like it just overlaid multiple layers of tattoos. It's bizarre. So I said, let me give you a reference image of the tattoo so you can change. It didn't have to be perfect. I just wanted to get a little bit more accurate. So I sent this image, and I even asked it, does this help? And it came up with this. I'm like, okay, it's getting the tattoos better. It's not perfect, but it's better. But then I noticed it did some weird thing on my arm here. It doesn't even look like that's a hand going into that I'm folding my arms there. It looks bizarre, and I don't like this font. And it's like, I probably should keep saying, keep the font, and instead it changes the font. And then I'm like, let me give it the original. This was the original. This one up here was actually before it was Nano Banana, when it was just Gemini images and it was new. When it first came out, I ran this image here into it, and it did this and made this cool background. So I thought, let me just put the original image in and see if it could get it right. And I said, don't cross my arms. You don't have to show so much of my arms. It can be a bit more close up. So I'm giving it direction. I'm also saying, use the previous font. I'm trying to give it all this direction. So it went back to the font I liked. So this was better. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. But, and this is a me thing. I think I could have stopped here. I'm still amazed I could go this long conversing for an image, because before Images 2.0, I'm telling you, I could not, it would crap out before I got this far. And then I get frustrated, and then, I would just stop or start over. So this was good, but this is a me thing. I'm looking at it full screen. I'm going, why did it put all this makeup on me? Like, it's too much. It gave me all this lipstick. I'm like, I like this, but it's just a little much. So I said, I don't like all this extra makeup you added on. Just have the face be like the photo. So then it came up with this, which was a lot better. And I'm like, okay, this is incredibly accurate. It actually did the tattoos exact. It didn't mess it up like it usually does. It's a good photo. I got the good smile. It's using the exact photo. Just took the text off my shirt. So I said it was better. The only thing is to cut off, and I should have just stopped. But I'm like, I'm going to keep going. So I told it should cut off my arms around the elbows. You don't need to show my hands and forearms. Don't change anything else. So then it came back with this. I'm like, this is really good. Okay, this one right here is very doable. But it was me. I thought the lines on my face were too pronounced. I didn't like that because I started thinking of the person that's going to watch this on their big screen TV, and I just need to get over this. This is a me thing. But I was like, well, that's just a little much. It was bothering me. So I said that the lines on my face are too pronounced and deep. You're making me look 70 years old. And this is not a dig on anyone. This was a me thing.
What's wrong with being 70?
Nothing. I'm just saying, I don't want this to make me look older than I am. And so I was just trying to get it to make it less pronounced with the way it was doing the facial lines. I just wanted to smooth it a bit. So then it came up with this, and I liked it. I'm like, okay, this works. So I was happy with it. So that's what I decided to use. I even said, perfect, thank you. And we had a nice little conversation. It's like, this is exactly what you want. And I'm just blown away that I could go back and forth. And that's why I can't wait to hear how you all are able to use this. And have y'all ever run into this where you're just doing this back and forth and it craps out? Nano Banana does that too. I've had that issue, but I'm super impressed how long I could go and just have a discussion and it stays on track. What has been y'all's experience, or have y'all done that?
I have. And the fact is that it keeps it. I haven't, that was one of the reasons I paid the $20 a month level, but I can go back like 2 hours later. I always have a tab for it. And the thing to remember is if I am working on a project like this would be, that you're in that window. If you have a sidebar and you think, I want to know what its opinion is on this, that, or the other thing, because that can mess it up. That can really mess it up. But yeah, I go back to it, and I love what you did, and I love the end result.
I just love that I could just I could have saved myself a ton of time and just cut it. Like, okay, this is good enough. And that's when I think back to before the 2.0 version, that's what I would, because it would crap out, I'd be like, let me just use the best one in the bunch before it couldn't go any further.
Right.
Because it's either that or I gotta start over. And sometimes what I would do is take the best one, start a new chat, put that image in, and like, okay, let's start over. Here's the baseline. Here's the reference. Or I would take the best one, go over to Nano Banana and try working off in there. But Nano Banana, in my experience, I just couldn't have that conversation for long before it was done. But here's what's interesting. So y'all just saw the whole thing, my back and forth that I just had. And then I was like thinking to myself that, this is really interesting that it let me go back and forth until it was exactly what I wanted. And so I'm like, let me go back in and I want to ask it about that. So I said to it, again, I talked to it like a real person. I said, I appreciate your patience. I'm impressed that you were able to go back and forth and work with me for as long as you did. You usually crap out quicker than that. And I have to start over. Is this part of your new Images 2.0 feature? I'm like, let's ask the source. Let's find out. And it's like, yeah, fair question. And you're not wrong to notice the difference. Short answer, yes, this is part of the newer image system being better. But it's not like one single switch called Images 2.0. It's more that a few things have improved together. So, and I like that. So it's like this whole thing is like one big symphony. Like you're getting all this rolled into one that makes the great experience for everything you're doing. So it says better instruction tracking is holding on to your constraints longer, like don't change anything else or keep the same font or use a subtle glow, etc. Older versions would drift or reset way faster. And that was the problem I kept running into because that's exactly what would happen. So this is holding on longer. And then it says more consistent iteration. You can refine step by step without the whole thing going off in a different direction every time. And then stronger identity in detail handling. Still not perfect. You saw that the tattoos and tattoos and facial lines, but it's noticeably better at adjusting instead of reinventing. And that's exactly what it used to do. It would reinvent, and it would always mess up the tattoos and make it so bizarre. And there would be times where it would be so bad, I'd be like, all right, just use this photo of me as is, but put a glow around me and do this, like try to make some subtle changes to it, but just use it as is instead of trying to reinvent it to look like it, but change the pose or whatever, because it would always mess up things, but especially something like tattoos. Definitely notice that just about every time. And then less creative wondering. Before, it would randomly add stuff like extra text, weird styling, or overdue effects. Now it's a bit more disciplined when you're being specific. And then this was cool. It said, that said, you also did something right here that most people don't. It says you gave very clear, controlled feedback each round. That's why this worked so well. So if you had said, make it better, we'd still be stuck on version 3. And then it does like a smiling emoji. I was making a joke. He said, but yeah, I was giving it specific feedback. And so this is just good to know when you're doing this, that if you're being specific with your feedback and the edits you want, it is doing it a lot better. One more thing I noticed through this process when I was doing this week is that there's some new buttons they've added that are on here. They changed things up a bit. You know, they used to be the thumbs up, thumbs down, because I guess they were always trying to get feedback. And I'm on the ChatGPT Pro, which is the $20 a month plan. I bet you're curious to hear how on the free plan, if anybody's on the free plan, if it's the same, but I don't see the thumbs up or thumbs down. You still got the copy response. You can still like try again. So it just kind of basically want to just regenerate and give you some other answer. And there's more actions is new. So you got 2 choices: branch into a new chat, which is very cool, and read out loud. So the read aloud is basically audio reading this back. So if I press this.
Yeah, fair question. And you're not wrong to notice the difference. Short answer, yes. This is part of the newer image system being better, but it's not like one single switch called Images 2.0.
So it's reading. What it gave me here, you can click the audio button and it'll read it out loud to you. One thing I noticed is on desktop, it's just you can turn it off or on. You can't make it speed up because she does talk slow. You can't go ahead or go backwards. On mobile, when I'm on the mobile app and you press that read aloud, it shows the different, like it has one, it's defaulted to the 1x speed, but you can bump up to a faster speed to listen back. You can go forward 10 seconds. You can go back 10 seconds. It's interesting how you got a little bit more you can do on that. But then this other feature, which is super interesting, is branch in new chat. So let's say, like this was a long discussion, as you saw. This is long. So but I did go in another direction, like asking it about this. Now, do I want to like go change this into a whole new chat based on this? I could click on branch a new chat. Does this on mobile too, by the way. If I do that, it's opening up a new page for me. Let's see, I think the screen's only going to show y'all on the same screen. So let me go switch screens real quick. It opens up another tab, basically, is what it just did. It opens up another tab. So it took what we just did there, and at the very bottom it says branch from and the name of that particular chat, and then I can move on. It's interesting because this is an effort to, I don't know about you all, but when I'm having discussions with chat, there are times where it just goes all over the place. I'm all over the map, and then I'll think, oh yeah, let's go in this direction for a while. But then when you go back, if you're like going back through your chat, you're like, there's so much, right? So if you're starting to go in another direction, you can just branch off and it retains everything you just did. But now you can have a separate chat to go off in this other direction. They did test this feature a while back. I had it briefly, But I really like that they have. I think this is available for everybody now. So has anybody noticed this feature where you can branch off? You'll just say branch in new chats.
Yeah, I noticed it, and I tried it one time, and I said, I'm going to have to come back and learn more about this, because it was cool that it did it. But I could see, because I, so used to the projects and stuff and staying focused that way.
Yeah.
And so, but now that I knew in advance I could have it, I thought this will be great when you're brainstorming on a particular thing, like you said about the tattoos and so forth, and just work on the tattoos and then see if you can bring it back in to the main one to, generate a new edition. But I just, I see where it can really help on, longer projects.
Definitely. It can definitely work the longer projects better, I think, because it just, and I think it's the new ChatGPT 5.5. I think that's probably why, because they did just upgrade to, an even better one, a more thinking one. I always just have mine set for auto, but I'm just really impressed at how much more I can do. Another example I want to show you all. After I did, made the new JPEG for this chat, just my generic, when I schedule it, just it's more of a placeholder. And I thought, well, wait a minute, let me do this for my other live stream. So on Saturdays, I host a live stream called the Kratom Gals. And I have a very boring, blah ChatGPT image I created last year. And this is it right here. And it's not bad. I wanted something super generic. Of course, it gets tattoos all wrong, but just something fun, whimsical, generic, simple, and easy. So at the time, this was actually pretty darn cool. This is like last year, like last September, I think, when I created that. So I gave it this. I just popped the image in. I said, I need a new generic YouTube thumbnail. This is what I've been using. And it's like, got it. This is a solid baseline. And then it just kind of gave me a bunch of thoughts. But it was thinking of my other conversations where we actually go back in and I'll give it the transcript of the live stream, a particular episode, and then I'll go and, we work on the title and YouTube thumbnail. So it was like, it kind of messed up its thinking. I said I want something real generic. It's thinking of my previous conversations and it's trying to give me something real specific based on one of the conversations. I was like, no. I said, no, what I want is to replace this boring generic image. When I first schedule it, I want something better. That's all I said. And in one pass, it gave me this. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is way better than what I've been using. The text at the bottom is a little small, but it's fine. Like, I just want something. It's a placeholder. It's generic, but it pops. And it's fresh and new. So I'm like, so this literally just took me like a minute. And I said, wow, thank you. It's perfect. So now I've got this brand new image. I love it. So, and it's not just for YouTube thumbnails. I'm just giving you all my examples of how, I'm using it. I like it for that. I want to go back to my older YouTube videos and go redo some of these because, we have to remember YouTube is a search engine. It is owned by Google. It's the number 2 search engine in the world. Google's number 1, although I think ChatGPT and other AIs are, getting up there too now. But Google's still number 1 search engine. YouTube is number 2 search engine. People don't think we're so conditioned with social media. It's all about now. Yes, your TikToks, somebody's not going to go run into your TikTok from a year ago or slim. They could, but on YouTube, yes, somebody could go watch your video you did 5 years ago, even 10 years ago. That's not unusual. Things can go viral later. So a good strategy might be when you kind of see how quickly you can redo images in this new ChatGPT Images 2.0 that you may want to rethink some of the stuff you're doing. Now, let me show you another cool thing I was playing with. I've just been demoing this thing left and right. So,
Madalyn,
yes.
Can I ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
When you're working on your YouTube channel and you're updating your thumbnails, can it go through and do all of them for you? Or do you have to tell it one video specifically at a time? Does it have access to your YouTube account.
Oh, like you want to like actually say, go look at all my YouTube thumbnails, kind of like an agent. You want to kind of do an agentic
Kind
mode.
of, or fix even the language on the descriptions, add a last paragraph, because I'm at new places. Like some of my videos are 10 years old, but they're about things that are still relevant. So I've been thinking about going through and fixing stuff, but will
Right.
it do it for me, or do I have to do
I don't
each video on my own?
I don't
Oh, how
know if it
lazy.
could, like, we now have like the ability with a lot of these tools to do an agentic mode where you put it to work and it just does
Yeah.
things automatically for you. First of all, I don't trust 100% for it to just go run and do all these
That's
things for
true.
me.
Yeah.
But what I would recommend you do, and it's actually a great question you're bringing up, but what I would recommend you do is, and it's something I'm going to be doing on both of my YouTube channels, go into your analytics and see what of your old content is still being watched today. Because you can go in and see what's been viewed in the last, I think it defaults normally to 28 days, but you can change it to just different dates, right? And see what of your old videos are still being watched. I mean, I sometimes do it on my phone because I love the YouTube Studio app, this YT Studio. And I can come in here and go click on analytics. I'm in my Kratom one right now, but if I go into my analytics, I can go and it's showing me in the last 28 days the top content. So and I can see that, one of these videos is not new. And I could go in and redo the thumbnail.
Right. So you can aim for the ones that are
The ones that are still getting traction. Yeah, because like I
cool.
have an older video and just in the last 28 days, it's been viewed 430 times.
Yeah.
And if I just go in and revise that thumbnail, it'll probably do even better because when it comes to YouTube, it's all about the thumbnail and title. It's all about the thumbnail and title because it needs to stop people in the feed, grab their attention. It's usually the thumbnail, they'll do it first and then they read the title.
Right.
Think about what you do. If you're scrolling through, say, YouTube on your phone or on your computer, what always stops me is like you can't not see the image. Like the image is what pops. And it's like, oh, what's this about? We read the title, I would start with your analytics. I would start with your analytics.
Thank you. Because I do look at those sometimes, but having conversations like this and being reminded of this stuff is so
right.
helpful. Thank you so much. Because sometimes I'll go in there. One of my videos from a long time, it has like 12,000 views on it, but I don't know. I don't go check it often enough. That and some others
check
are ones
it.
that would be worth beefing them up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Like you're talking about. Thank you.
Yeah, you should definitely go into your analytics, and this is for everybody. Go into your analytics, if anything, see what videos have been viewed in the last 28 days. It defaults to that, and then go from there. And then you can dial down and do different dates or whatever, but go through that list of those. I would go through those and start with those first. And also back to when you're saying you want to change the description in some of these older videos. The easiest way to do this is still, my understanding would be one at a time. But if you log into your YouTube, you want to go into the YouTube Studio. Are you familiar with YouTube Studio? The whole back end. So you go into the studio and you have it broken down by when you go to the content section and you got the ones for all your live streams, the one for all your videos, which will be, the non-shorts, and you got all the shorts. It lists them all. So you could easily just go through them from there, one at a time. That would, because it's like a spreadsheet. You see everything on the page. That might be the easiest, quickest, rather than going to your YouTube channel, go into each video, hitting the edit. I mean, it's just figuring out an easy workflow. Right. But also moving forward, if anytime I update my description for moving forward, in the YouTube Studio, you go into the settings and you can put a default description. So every time you do a video, it will automatically do that. And whenever I change mine up a bit, I go and I update that because it's less work. You've already got your thing ready. It's already in there, and then you can tweak as needed. But I always find that as a very useful setting that we have.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let me show y'all another incredible example of ChatGPT Images 2.0 that I came across. So I'm on Facebook, just kind of randomly, I think it was the other day, and I see this image, and it's somebody I've known in the digital marketing space, Roberto Blake. He's a YouTube expert, He teaches how to use YouTube. And I was like, this is cool. But what caught my attention as well is that he says in his post, ChatGPT Image 2 generated this with a one-sentence prompt. Granted, I talk to it every day, which, it knows you. Infographics were the major hurdle I thought was still far off. That threshold has now been crossed. And I'm looking at this going, this is really cool. So I'm like, let me see if I can recreate something like this to make one of those for me, because that would be really neat. And I didn't know, I didn't put a lot of time and effort into this. I just because I'm thinking he didn't share what the prompt was. I'm like, well, what was the prompt? What did he do? So
isn't it, this is me? I mean, that's the same prompt I used to make my first one.
What? Which was what?
I think it's this is me. I'll check it. But I saw his second, and it was the very same prompt as another fellow live streamer, OGer, had showed me the same day. But I think it's only two words. Like, this is me.
But I'm just saying, how would it know what to put on there, how to size it?
I'll let you know. I'll look in mine real quick.
Well, let me show you what I did, because I got there. Let me just show you what I did.
Okay.
I'm thinking, okay, because there's going to be times where people will show something cool, but they don't share the prompt. You're like, what did they say to the ChatGPT or to their AI to do this? So I'm in this quick demo. I literally, downloaded the image, popped it into my ChatGPT, and I said, my friend Roberto said with one prompt, he was able to have this image created using ChatGPT Images 2.0. What would the prompt be? Let's reverse engineer this, right? So I just said, what would the prompt be? What do you think it would be? I'd like to make an image like this for me. So it came back and said, yeah, this is very solid. But it said it's not just one prompt in the casual sense. It usually comes from a very dense, well-structured prompt that's doing a lot of heavy lifting, but I'll reverse engineer what likely went into it. Now, like Roberto said in his post, ChatGPT knows a lot about him. He uses it every day. Well, me too. So it knows a lot about me, and it knows how to go get information about me. So it's kind of explaining this layout. It's a personal brand one sheet. I love that, with an infographic, has infographic sections with icons. And so I just wanted the Madalyn Skylar version, but it reverse engineered, and then it came up with this. A realistic one prompt version for Roberto style output. I love that. I just love how it called it the Roberto style output. So it came up what it thinks would have been the prompt to create that specific image, right? And then and this shows you the whole thinking capability ChatGPT has, because I just said, I'd like to take this and figure out how to make one about me. So it first figures out this is probably what he did. Then it kept going. Now, here's what I tweaked for you specifically. This is where most people mess up. They copy the structure, but don't adapt the positioning. And we don't want it to look generic creator economy guy. We want Madalyn Skylar brand energy. Here's your version. So it writes up this version, but it does say, a poster featuring a confident female creator. But I want to use an image, a real image of me. So to make it look like his, where you look at this and that's Madalyn. So it gives me all this info, and I said, I love this. I want you to create one of these for me. Do you need a reference photo, or can you do it based on what I look like? I'd like you to use a Roberto style image created about me. So I said it could do it without the photo, but I'm going to be blunt with you. It won't really look like you. It will be a generic AI version of you. But it says you could upload a photo if you like, and you can give it more specific. So I just gave it, one of my generic ones here, and asked it to use this. I said, here's a good reference photo of me. Create the image in the exact. So I once again reminded, I want it to be in the same style as Roberto's. So this is what it came up with. And I didn't have time to go back and reiterate, but I was just really impressed that I literally did this whole thing from start to finish in probably less than 5 minutes, because it thought about, I showed it Roberto's, it thought about it, it gave me all that info. And then I'm like, okay, but let's make it, here's a reference photo. Let's try to do this. Probably wasn't even 5 minutes. It was probably way less. Yes.
Are you tagging Roberto in your notes on this video? Does he know we're talking about him and that you've invented this Roberto-esque style?
Well, he invented it. I just
Yeah.
wanted to go reverse engineer it
But
and figure it out.
the term
I
of it
love it.
all.
I love the term. Well,
It's gonna go viral.
ChatGPT came up with
Roberto-esque.
it. ChatGPT came up with that Roberto style. Called it Roberto style. But I haven't posted this anywhere. I just wanted to show y'all that I so quickly got from point A to point B. So what I'm trying to let y'all know is if you see something out in the wild and you're like, I want something like this, but geared for me, get a copy of it or screenshot it or whatever, show it in ChatGPT and have it make your version of it. So I liked how he was using that Roberto style of how he did his. And then let's make one. And then of course now I can go in like it did one arm of tattoos, not the other arm. But and I haven't looked at all the details. I just wanted to see how quickly could I do something like this. And I think in one pass, this is impressive. ChatGPT images could not do this before. And it couldn't think this out before.
It
So
looks great.
that's why I'm like, this is, I feel this has turned into such a game changer. And what's so interesting is we spent the last couple of months talking about that people have been having this big shift from ChatGPT to Claude. And I like Claude. I'm using Claude more and more. I like Claude a lot. But now there's all these people that did that and they're saying, oh my God, ChatGPT images is so much better now. I think I'll keep that. Like now everybody's like, I'm keeping both accounts. I'm going to pay for both. Because people love Claude and I'm really looking at a lot of these native features that are pretty cool. I've been playing with. But ChatGPT in Claude, but Claude doesn't do images. It can do designs, but it can't do images like that. Your choice for really good generative images is ChatGPT or Nano Banana, which is Gemini.
Combining
Google.
the text with the image.
But then this is where Magi comes into play. And Magi is the all-in-one tool, which I love. And I've been doing a lot of experiments with that as well, because all this stuff I'm showing you with ChatGPT Images 2.0 is in Magi.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I pay for ChatGPT so I can have all those native features in the app. I pay for Magi because I can do everything with Magi. And I keep trying to decide, do I want to pay for Claude? I'm just using the free Claude for as long as I can before I dive in on paying. But I want to do everything. So if you're multi-passionate like some of us, you want to do it all, well, then you got to go pay for it all.
Yeah. Can I say something real quick? Just
Sure.
about the idea of being inspired by Roberto's image. I think it's really important to remind people that it's okay to admire and respect other people's work out there in the world and find things that you enjoy. Just like you just said, Madalyn, go out into the wild and find things that you would like to also do with your own personality, your own work on it too. There's nothing wrong with that. I think there's a great fear in the world of original and the whole idea of copying. I think it's okay to be inspired and aspire to and learn from other creators. That's what it's about.
I love that you say that because, yeah, I'm not ever like just going out and blatantly copying somebody's stuff. But what I like to do is get that inspiration and make the Madalyn version of it, And so when I saw Roberto's image, it inspired me. I was like, I need to play around with this. I haven't posted that. I mean, I wasn't done. That was just me trying to do something quick. And then I thought, let me show this off here of just because I'm showing you all these demos of how all this cool stuff that I'm able to do. And I want everybody to know that you can do these things too. So, but yeah, I mean, I think what he created was just really interesting, but he probably got inspired by somebody else, I bet,
Probably. And that's the way life works. I think that's an important part of the conversation because you're creating, you're using AI, and it's okay to blend what's going on out there with other people too, of course.
Exactly. And I love that you bring that up. Finally, I've been trying to get into Facebook, but it was not working. So it seems to be up now. That was kind of strange. Let me show you all when I was talking before about Dustin with Magi and how he did that experiment with all these images, and inside of Magi, when you're doing ChatGPT images, you get even additional features. So not only are you doing the ChatGPT images 2.0, but then you can have a low, medium, or high version of the thinking, like where you can have it set on auto. But Dustin had posted something really interesting. He was doing some tests on this. And so he posted this the other day. He would put in a prompt and use the same prompt, but do the different quality settings, low, medium, and high inside of Magi. So like, for instance, he did a cat prompt. I love when he does these cat prompts. They're cool. And he did one of them in Magi on the low, one on the medium, and one on the high. Now, the higher, he says it's not necessarily the resolution, it is the thinking. The longer it takes for ChatGPT to do the work and thinking about it. So of course you're going to expect the low one to be the worst, the medium to be okay, and the highest thinking one to be the best, but not always. So he didn't tell us which ones were which, but I assume that this is the low, that this is the medium, and this is the high. But I like this first one. There was something about this first one that grabbed me. The thing is, they're all good. So this is all done inside of Magi, utilizing ChatGPT Images 2.0. It's just you get that additional ability to adjust the thinking mode. You can be on auto, or it can be low, medium, and high. Now, the thing is, the low is going to use the lowest amount of the tokens. The medium is going to be more. The high is going to be even higher. And I did hear him say in a live stream that this week that he calculated it's a lot higher percent as you go up. So I'm looking at this going, well, I like this iteration. So my thinking is, if I'm going to be creating anything inside of Magi like this, I'm going to always start with the low. If the low is not enough, then maybe I'll do another one and bump up to medium. But high is not always better, because this one's probably the high, because you can see the details are better. So that's probably high, but then you're using up a lot of your tokens to do something. Like, you can do less because of that. Like, if I want to do a bunch of images, you want to do the lower. Otherwise, you'll have to keep paying money to top it off. Then he did this one. So you got the first, here's the second one, and here's the third one. And it's probably the same thing. It's probably low. I'm going to guess. I think this is low, medium, and high, because you can just see more details, more depth. But I like this first one a lot. I thought this one was really well done. I don't know. I mean, some of these are real subtle differences, right? So, but you're going to pay a lot more if you're going to do the highest thinking. And then you got this one. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. And here's the third one.
Madalyn, can I
Yep.
ask you real quick about the tokens? So
Yes.
if you're in Magi, you pay a monthly fee for the service, and then you're allowed so many hours or energy of creativity.
It's per use.
Energy there.
It's
Or
yeah. Well, all these AI, they all work the same way. It's like you can only do so much. Like, if I'm on ChatGPT day and night on a free account, at some point you've used it up
gonna
so
cut
much,
it
it's
off,
going to
yeah.
cut you off. And
Yeah.
I'm sure many people here have done the free version, you get cut off at some point.
Mhm.
You do the paid version, it depends on which paid one. I do the $20 a month. I've never been cut off from anything. The only thing I have been cut off is the audio when I talk to it like a person, and it's let me talk. I mean, I'm literally on my
You're a
phone
little too
conversing.
chatty.
I'm the longest I've been able to go before it cut me off for the day was about an hour. Like, I
Uh-huh.
literally had an hour-long brainstorm session back and forth with
Uh-huh.
chat last year, and about an hour, then it stopped me and said, you can continue, but you can't do the audio until tomorrow.
Mm.
But if you're on a free version, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been on the free in a while, but before, the way it did it on the free version, it only lets you do it for so many minutes per month.
Mm.
But then I think they upped it a bit. So on the free version, if you try to talk to it, when it cuts you off, It might let you, it might reset and go back the next day. I'm not 100% sure. It might not until next month. They don't also explain this in their help. You go into like the ChatGPT help or the Gemini help or the Claude. They don't give you specifics, right? So you don't know what's the exact. I try, but with Magi, all these are pretty much the same. It's like you'll hear it called tokens or credits. All I know is that when I'm using Magi, when you're in it, you can always check to see where your usage is at.
Okay.
And let me pull up my screen
monitor your own
you can be
use.
monitoring
And if you
exactly.
want to go above that use,
Then you pay. You can pay to top it off. Exactly.
Okay.
So let me show you when I'm in Magi. Let me bring this up. So we're in my Magi. So down here at the bottom left for my account, if I click on that, it shows me where I'm at with my usage. So for the month, I'm already at 76%. So if I get to the point where I use it, like if I do a bunch of those ChatGPT images on the highest, at some point it's going to cut me off because I'm just using it all up. That's why if I do lowest, I can get more, allotted.
You only have a few more days left of April anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Might as well max it out.
And so, but I can always click, if I do go over, then you click on add usage and you just top it off. You pay a little money, top it. But see, here's what's so cool. So right here, I'm in Magi. I have it set ChatGPT. Because see, what's cool about Magi, look, you get all this. You can go between all the different LLMs, the different image generators, the different video generators. So I like that you can favorite, put a little star and have your stuff at the top that you like the most. I like the Claude Sonnet 4.6, the ChatGPT images, and the Nano Banana, so it keeps it at the top. But when I'm using the ChatGPT images, so right here is defaulted to the version 1. I want version 2. That's the new ones, the version 2. And then here's where you got the auto or the low, medium, and high. So if I just know that if I do low, so it's going to be the lowest thinking, I can use this more. If I want high, it might be better, it might not. And then you pick your ratio, what sizing do you want? 16.9 would be like a YouTube thumbnail or an X post or whatever. And if I'm going to attach an image, I would click here, but I could just come here and it's giving me a heads up because it does consume, it says it consumes monthly usage faster than most because this is a higher multiplier. He has this little multiplier on the usage up here in this table. And like for ChatGPT, it could be all the way up to 5x of your usage. Whereas if I did Nano Banana, it's more like a 1x. And usually when these are newer, the usage could go really quick. But I just find it interesting with, how much better overall these images are, and we have a lot of flexibility. We're not limited just inside of ChatGPT. If you're using an all-in-one tool like Magi, you could do a lot there. And I can't believe we're already at the top of the hour. Oh my gosh. I wanted to show y'all one more. I had one more quick demo. If y'all are good and can stay a moment, I came up with this other one that was phenomenal that I saw over on X. Let me just do this real quick. So I'm on X and I see this image. Look at this. This is cool. I love these kinds of visuals, right? So the tweet says, stop asking ChatGPT Image 2.0 to summarize PDFs. Text summaries are boring and don't stick. Use this prompt framework to create visual summaries instead. So basically it's telling you to, if you have a PDF, you feed it the PDF, and then you open ChatGPT, you upload your PDF, and this is the prompt right here, which is break down the key concepts from this PDF into simple points I can turn into a visual summary. So you just put that in. So it's showing you put in the PDF, you put that in, it's going to give you an output. So then you get the output of that. And I'm going to show you because I have a demo I did. And then the output it gives you, you're going to put in this prompt. And you can change out the specifics, like it has colored markers and it has like some different colors, layouts at A4. But basically, when everything was said and done, it created, this image here. I'm like, let me go find a PDF and let's do a Madalyn version of this. Let's do a Madalyn demo. And I want to show y'all what I can show this real, because I already did it. And so I just want to walk y'all through real quick to see. I was absolutely blown away. And I didn't go looking for a specific PDF, because I was like trying to think, well, what PDF and where would I have it? So I just grabbed one that I knew I could find in my folder. So let me pull this up for y'all. So I followed this exact framework. So what I have here is a PDF with the kratom advocacy work I do. There's this new peer-reviewed study that just came out. So I popped it in there. And it's just a boring PDF with a lot of just mumbo jumbo that the average person doesn't like. I look at those, I'm like, but the people that do these types of reviews and statistics, like, it all makes sense to them, but I want something nice and visual. So I followed exactly the way the guy showed. So I upload the PDF, put in that prompt. So now it does this breakdown, blah, 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 from the PDF. And then it gets to the end, and I copied exactly the prompt he said to do next. The only thing I changed was for add colored markers. I knew I wanted to have green in there because kratom is a plant. And then I said and other relevant colors. But then I forgot to change the layout. So the layout was set for A4. So it does this. And it won't make it any bigger, unfortunately. But I'm like, this is cool, but I don't want that size. So I went in, I said, make the aspect ratio 4:3. And it came back with this. I'm like, wow. And I did this in literally like 2 minutes. I think the longest part was when it was reading the PDF and thinking and giving me that big, long output.
That's a lot of information on there. That's
beautiful. Yeah. And I haven't read through it. I haven't checked it for accuracy, but it took a PDF. I fed it and I followed those 2 prompts in order, and I get this.
That's amazing.
So this thing is unlimited, I think, with what it can do. I just recommend everybody play around with ChatGPT. I know you can do it on the free account as well. Play around with it and see what you can create. And then let's talk about it next week. But I was just so wowed.
That's
I feel like
homework.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. I found all these interesting use cases, and I just wanted to show them off today. So I don't know, does this inspire everybody to want to go play around in ChatGPT?
Yes, and it makes me want to go look at Skool some more too, because I've been missing out on some of the older conversations that you guys have been having. So I love Skool.
Skool is great.
Roll through there and find, because you're so good at finding the nuggets out there on YouTube and everything. That'll help. Yeah. Thank you so much.
That is so awesome. Well, yeah, come join us on Skool. Let me pop that back up on screen real quick, because Skool is our community where we all hang out.
Yes.
Yep. This is where all the hanging out is, because when we come here, this is just a 1-hour chat, but the conversation continues over here. Let me put the link up on here. Come hang out with us in Skool. Skool.com, but you can also just easily get to it from my bit.ly link, bit.ly/Madalyn Skool. I've got 3 different communities because one's never enough for me. I got my AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter, which is part of this here. And then my brand new Video Like a Rockstar that just launched last week. We did our 5-day video challenge. It was so much fun, but even though we did it together as a group, it's now available for anyone to come do at their own pace. There's just quick, simple, easy to do. It is so much fun. So that's my Video Like a Rockstar, which is, you can go to Skool and look up Video Like a Rockstar, or go to my bit.ly link, bit.ly/VLAR, which stands for Video Like a Rockstar, VLAR 5-day, because it's a 5-day video challenge. What's so funny when I see this image on the About page, I did that in ChatGPT images right before the 2.0 version, and it was already getting better, because when I did these images, and mind you, this school just launched a few weeks ago, so it was literally right before the images 2.0 came out, because that's only been out for a little over a week. So right before that, I was getting some great images, but it wasn't exact, but I just went with it, and I decided not to be picky, because like this one was okay. It wasn't great. With me, like it didn't do me very well. My face looks a little funky, but now I'm going to go back in with ChatGPT Images 2.0 and redo these. It did this one pretty well, but I had it use my exact photo and not change it up. But yeah, It's Video Like a Rockstar. If you're looking to get more confident on video, especially with short form video, then come join us. It's a free 5-day challenge. You can do it at your own pace, and it helps the people that have already done it. I'm already seeing a difference. They're just more confident, comfortable making these types of videos because we all have a message to share. We should not hold back.
Thank you so much, Madalyn.
Absolutely.
Right.
Maria, it's always so good seeing you, and Rachel and Barb. Love our group. And thanks to everybody watching live. We do this every Thursday. Any final thoughts from anybody?
I learned so much. I forget to go to school. So that sounds funny.
Get your
Got to
butt
go.
school.
We couldn't say that as
Go to
kids.
school.
You couldn't say that as a kid. Mom, I forgot to go to school.
I don't want to go to school, Mom. Not today. But I need to remember because you have such valuable shares in there.
Oh,
And
thank
they're
you so
there
much.
forever. Like if somebody joins today, they can still see what you were talking about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like a chat group where you go in and you only see what's moving forward. You can
Right.
go back.
You can do keyword searches, and that's what's really
Yes.
cool because you can
And
go.
some of your threads of thought in there, in the replies, it keeps building over time too. So they're worth looking at, the older posts, because they just keep emerging more and more.
Right.
So it's great.
Yeah, I love that you do keyword searches because you can go look for specific, like, okay, here's something like, for instance, Magi, and I talk about Magi a lot. If somebody wanted to go into the AI Shortcuts School and go see one of our past conversations about Magi, and of course, the more specific in your keywords, it can hone in. But if like you just type in Magi, it will go find every conversation that has the word Magi in it. And I've had that school for a couple of years now, so you can go back and find like older discussions. And there's a classroom section and everything I have in there. It's great and it's free. So come join us over there. I do want to put together some classes, like some paid classes and just some real specific tutorials and things.
Yeah.
Still figuring
That's
out
what I want to do. So I'm following your example. I'm inspired.
Awesome.
Because for meditation type workshops, I want to do the same kind of thing, just for the people that are specifically interested in that.
Yeah. Skool is a
sense.
great all-in-one because you have the forum, which is like a Facebook group. You have the classroom where you can have training. You can have stuff free. You can have stuff paid. There's so many options. And then you have the live stream feature, which is phenomenal. And I know you love live streaming. And it can just be inside there, which is your private community instead of public, like what we're doing here right now. And the beauty is once you're done with your live stream in Skool, you can get downloads of the recording so you can use it elsewhere. You can immediately put it up as a post to your community for the replay for those that missed it. And they also make the transcript available just for the owner, the admin of the group. So they thought of everything. It's impressive.
And don't forget, you guys, to go look at Rachel's Substack too.
Yes. Love Rachel's Substack.
Thank you. It's been fun. I'm writing a post now about all the little secret behind the scenes things that I have discovered. Purely anecdotal, but might as well share it. So that's going to probably be.
That's very cool. I'm on Substack too. I keep forgetting to go there. That's
me too.
You could post all of your live streams. You could post everything you post in Skool. You could just put over there as well. So
I need to practice more. Yeah. You're inspiring me over there, Rachel.
Oh, thank you.
Substack confuses me a little bit the way it's organized.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more you can do with it than many people even know or understand. And it feels very intimidating at first because it's like, is it a newsletter? Is it a blog? Is it social media? Is it podcasts? It's like
everything. It's all the above.
Yes.
Whatever you want it to be. Yeah.
But it's hard to know where to start. So that's why I want to break it down for people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just need to spend more time there. Well, this has been great. Thank you so much for hanging out and spending time. I'll see y'all in Skool. Come to Skool.
I'll be in Skool later.
Okay, bye you guys.
No detention. Okay.
No, exactly. It's fun.
There's no detention.
It's fun school. Madalyn Skool is fun school. I promise.
That's right.
And Maria, I'm so glad you have yours. Thank you for inviting me in.
Yes,
I really like it. Yeah. All right, everybody. We'll see you next Thursday. Come hang out with us. We do this every Thursday afternoon. So we'll see